Rabbits are cute. They're cuddly and soft to hold and have long ears that are simply cute. They hop innocently and nom on carrots as a treat. Rabbits surely are the symbol of gentleness and helplessness. Well, technically they are, but in another sense, they're very sadistic and insane animals that will quite possibly kill anything that even gets close to them and act as the hunter instead of the hunted. And this is depicted in what we call drolleries in manuscripts back during the medieval times, specifically around in the 12th to 15th century. Medieval times were very harsh, cold, and had strict social barriers that kept one person from interacting with another. They were violent too, with wars, fights, and bloodshed. So monks started drolleries to lighten the somber mood a bit, though some of these drolleries were a little too weird to lighten mine. Drolleries, also known as grotesques, were called the upside-down world and usually reverse dynamics. They are a sort of drawing in the margins of illuminated manuscripts written and drawn by monks who had to copy books by hand. Usually, there would be mixed beasts like a human head with a large snake tail, a lemur and a snail shell, or most commonly, a either peaceful rabbit or a killer rabbit. They were drawn there for funsies, you could say, and it was typically a safe way to rebel by artists, as the medieval times were harsh times, and sometimes people needed to have some humor in their life. These medieval rabbit drolleries had our very cute, precious, soft little bunnies on their hind legs and wielding weapons such as axes, swords, shields, bows, and an assortment of other stuff, and their sole purpose in these drawings was to torment living creatures in general, especially the human hunters. Their methods were rather odd, but did do the trick. Rabbit's revenge, if you will. The earliest known drollery today was drawn in the 1170s, made in Germany, and the drollery was drawn around a large decorated T at the start of a text. Using the top line of the T, a rope is thrown over and the rabbits have hung a noose around their hunter's neck. Their front paws up and stood on their hind legs and smiling in sadistic glee. Very thrilling, to say the least. Another piece of these malicious rabbits is from the Breviary of Renaud de Bar, a manuscript in a British library as most are located now, and the script has many of these vicious bunnies in the margins. A more popular drollery would be a rabbit riding a human whose head is sticking out of a snail shell, a little surprised that he's fighting the wrong side. Another rabbit is stuck at the bottom and holding a dog on his shoulders. Both have a shield to cover their body, long pointed lances. This drollery resembles a joust, pretty popular among knights back then. There were some instances when a rabbit would approach a high noble, such as a king, and would torture or hurt or plain old kill the noble. A famous drollery of this would be where the bunny is seen possibly jumping with a curved axe in his paws towards a king in red robes and a large green crown. The king looks absolutely frightened, and the bunny only grins mercilessly. Do these bunnies, specifically the king one, remind you of something? No, not those Minecraft killer rabbits. A very specific British comedy horrific movie some would watch as kids. In this one scene that pops up, oh yeah, where King Arthur gets viciously attacked by a bunny when he got too close. Don't fear though, because even through this entire massacre done by rabbits, there are some sweet and more passive rabbits, like a brown-furred bunny playing the trumpet sitting dangerously on the edge of a maple leaf. Little guy looks a little afraid, but it's still nice to see a passive bunny. Take a look at this innocent rabbit with a calico pattern of black and brown. Not exactly a drollery, but I thought to add it when you've seen these rabbits become this other dynamic or had to relive a childhood memory. This drollery has a bunny sticking their head out from a trumpet that a human is playing, or the human is playing it so hard the rabbit pops out. The rabbit looks a little confused, but has spirit. This one was drawn in the margins of the Roman de la Rose, and it contains a 4-part story and drolleries. The main picture has 2 characters, and one of them is dreaming in front of a garden of flowers, and the presumed lover reading to the side. At the very bottom are the rabbits. They are being chased by long-bodied hounds who are eager to eat lunch behind a set of circular trees. Don't worry, because these passive little bunnies do get their revenge. They get serious and stand on their hind legs, and then the rabbits gag and tie the hound up. They drag him along to do rabbit court. If you tell me what is more funny than animals going to court for a crime, I would not have an answer. At least they got their rightful revenge in a civil way. I was lying. They were not civil at all. The hound gets accused and marked as guilty for his unspeakable crimes, and the two rabbits as horses trudge the wagon along with the hound inside. Another rabbit is holding the hound's leash and has this long fishing pole weapon that is most likely to be used as a whip if the hound acts out. They find a spot, or this is a different rabbit, to hang the hound on a tree, and the lone vicious rabbit places a finger in front of his mouth with a shh, like he was warning the hound to keep quiet. In a general sense, under the killer bunny umbrella, they typically wield human-made weapons, fight other animals or their hunters, and they just torture basically. But to do so, they always need to stand on their hind legs. I would never want to cross by one of these bunnies in my lifetime. If you enjoyed the shorter video, make sure to like and subscribe to see more art-related content.